The sun was dipping low behind the trees as Rayhan, a small boy with restless hands and curious eyes, knelt by the riverbank. The gentle hum of the water was the only sound around him, broken only by the faint rustle of paper as he carefully folded a sheet into a tiny boat. Every evening, this was his ritual. He'd write something small inside each boat, sometimes a word, sometimes a wish. "I'll be brave. I'll make friends. I'll do better tomorrow." Then he'd set it free on the river, watching it drift until it vanished around the bend. But that day, the wind was harsh. The paper boats kept flipping, folding into the water before they even reached the middle. Still, Rayhan didn't stop. He folded another, and another. By his fifth try, an old man sitting on a nearby bench finally spoke. "You've lost 5 boats to the river already," he said, his voice kind but curious. "Why keep sending them when they all drown?" Rayhan looked up, squinting through the sunlight. "Because one day," he said softly, "one might reach the other side." The man, Kabir, smiled faintly. He admired the boy's persistence. He himself used to come here years ago, but for a very different reason. The river reminded him of time, always flowing, never stopping. He stood up slowly, his wooden walking stick pressing against the damp soil. "Mind if I join you?" he asked. Rayhan nodded. Kabir sat beside him and carefully folded his own paper boat. His hands trembled slightly with age, but his eyes were steady. He looked at Rayhan's stack of soggy papers and chuckled. "Looks like the river's testing your patience." "It always does," Rayhan replied. "But I like testing it back." Kabir smiled at the boy's words. When the boat was ready, he held it gently and said, "Then let's send one together, mine will carry your hope a little further." Both of them knelt at the edge of the river. The sun's reflection danced like liquid gold across the water. They released their boats at the same time, 2 little specks of paper gliding side by side before the current carried them away. For a moment, neither spoke. They simply watched the ripples blend and fade. Finally, Kabir said, "You see, child, not every try must succeed. Some tries just teach the river your name." Rayhan turned to him, puzzled at first, then smiled. He didn't fully understand, but he felt something inside him shift. As the last bit of daylight slipped behind the trees, Rayhan picked up his last piece of paper. This time, he didn't write a wish. He simply drew 2 small boats, one large, one small, and placed it gently on the water. The next day, the park was quiet again. Kabir didn't return, but his words stayed. Rayhan still folded his boats every evening, but now, each one carried not just a wish, but a piece of courage. And though no one knew where those little boats ended up, Rayhan liked to believe the river remembered him, and that one day, the right wave would carry one all the way across. Moral: effort isn't wasted just because no one sees it. Every act of trying strengthens the current within you, the current that carries your spirit forward.